Hello and welcome back to Lucky Crit. With Fire Emblem Engage just a few months out, and us currently getting drip-fed with just the tiniest drips of info, I wanted to take some time here to share my thoughts on what I hope this game will bring us, features I'd like to see make a comeback, and how Engage will continue to refine and alter Fire Emblem as we move forward. Hope number 1. A good story. Well, a great story would be ideal, but let's be more realistic with our expectations, shall we? Hope number 1. Classic recruitment. And speaking of recruitment... Hey buddy, you have a moment to talk about our lord and sponsor? Oh yeah, today's video is sponsored by the one and only Raid Shadow Legends. With over 600 uniquely skilled champions, hundreds of artifacts to equip, and plenty of intimidating raid bosses to face off against, Raid's got it all, and you can play it your own way. One of the things I really like about Raid is that it's big on its unique bosses, and I think Astranix, the Dark Fae, is definitely one of the more interesting ones. Astranix has some really cool mechanics, like the ability to dupe your entire team, forcing you to adeptly defeat your own allies. And she can also remove your allies from combat entirely, where they'll be completely unable to act until you defeat their doppelganger. Raid has also just released a souped-up legendary version of everyone's favorite champion, Death Knight. No, not that Death Knight, this one. Raid fans have been waiting for this one for a long time, and now you can get him for free. Just log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27th. And you can instantly upgrade him or any other 5-star that you get using the DK Rises promo code. This will give you a bunch of free items to level them all the way up to level 50 and 5-star Ascension. This month, Raid is also running an amazing trick-or-treat Halloween promotion where new players can win a bunch of real-life and in-game prizes, including $1,000 Amazon gift cards and some of the best epic and legendary Halloween champions, all for free. All you need is your Raid player ID. So download Raid with my link in the description, then head to this link, enter your details, spin the wheel, and get your prize. This special event runs from October 15th to November 5th only, so be fast. There's never been a better time to get started, so new players, use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack worth almost $30, including a free champion Vergus and also this cool in-game loot. You'll find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. Thank you for checking it out, and thanks to Raid for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Fire Emblem Three Houses did a stellar job of switching things up and breathing fresh air to the series by turning the player into a teacher at the Garreg Monastery Officers Academy, deepening the classic Fire Emblem mechanics with a new layer of teaching, testing, and enhancing students' skill proficiencies, amongst many other new wrinkles to the formula. And while Three Houses did feature a clever way to bring back character recruitment and do it well, largely by snagging students from the other two houses once the player fulfilled their requirements, it did, however, disappointingly step away from the classic recruitment experience of past entries with these changes. No longer could the player scout out the upcoming battlefield, hunting for the fresh faces of potential new allies to sway to their side. The silver tongue of characters like Claude, or the imposing and convincing stature of Dimitri and Edelgard no longer had the opportunity to coerce foes into joining your cause. This wasn't a huge problem, really, but I feel that it did lend to an overall lack of variety in terms of your character roster across the 4 paths. Sure, you always ended up with other houses' students in likely somewhat unique classes and setups, but once you were acquainted with all of the students in the game, you basically knew pretty much all of the potential characters. Three Houses did also have exclusive characters across its paths, which certainly did help to alleviate this problem at least a little, except for Judith, which I'm still really mad about. Really should have been a free update. I mean, why? God, why?
I have a question for God. Why?
But I do feel that there was still a little something missing with this new system of recruitment, and wish to have had the opportunity to find even more potential allies amongst my enemies on the battlefield. It's not a huge gripe, but I think it would have been fun if enemy recruitment had stuck around. Or at the very least, there were some more hidden characters that the player could unlock through making certain choices in the playthrough. So for Engage, a game which, so far, looks to be harkening back at least a little to series classic staples, I do hope that we'll see recruitable enemies once again. I miss them. Come on, it's not Fire Emblem without the Navarre archetype. I really should get back to that series. Hope number 2. Varied map objectives. I've spoken about this situation before in my top 10 things I hate about Fire Emblem video. Check that one out here or in the video description if that sounds appealing. But Fire Emblem has, for a little while now at least, been a bit lacking in its map design and in terms of coming up with creative battlefield scenarios to toss the player into. Perhaps this problem is also linked to the debate between linear Fire Emblem titles and the open map styled Fire Emblems, as unfortunately it does tend to be the open map FEs that showcase this problem the most. Games like Gaiden and Echoes, Sacred Stones, and of course Fire Emblem Awakening being the most emblematic of this style of map design, or lack thereof. What do I mean by this though? Well, most maps in Fire Emblem Awakening are route maps. The only objective the player has is to eliminate all enemies. Now, there's nothing wrong with this in theory. I mean, who wants to waste XP unless you're a low turn count player? But we love Fire Emblem, and we know that they can do better than just having route or seize maps for the entirety of its 25-ish chapters of the story. Some of my fondest Fire Emblem memories are of when my allies were tossed into varying scenarios with their backs against the wall fending off waves of enemies. Or how about pooping myself and fleeing as fast as I could when the Black Knight appeared out of a random house in the center of the map. Or just reaching certain points on the map before it's too late. There are many really cool ones across the series, and it stinks to have some of the more modern games not feature such fun and intricately crafted maps to dive into. So for Fire Emblem Engage, I hope that we'll get some great map design and a bunch of different styles and experiments across its many chapters. I just don't want to see the same boring objective repeated for the entire playthrough. Is that so much to ask? Hope number 3, branched promotion or reclassing. While branched promotion and reclassing aren't anything new for the series, since these mechanics have come and gone across the many different entries, I do think it would be a shame to not see them return for Engage. To recap, many Fire Emblem games have allowed characters to enter into different class trees and become entirely different units from what they originally started as. Branched promotions like we saw in games like Sacred Stones allowed characters just a hair more customization by giving the player the choice of their final class to land in. Maybe something just slightly different or with a bit of a different emphasis even. From the little we know of Engage though, it does seem to be a bit more classic looking than other recent entries, and the Engage mechanic with the rings may very well require certain characters to always have specific weapon types, or perhaps each ring will only work with a select handful of characters, but that remains to be seen. So I do have some concerns about whether or not these mechanics will return because of this. When units are stuck in a single class line and don't have any way to try other things outside of it, I do feel it damages the game's long-term potential for replayability. It's always much more interesting to me to consider how units can best be used in other classes, or just experiment with some variety on subsequent playthroughs. No one wants to level up Louis the Armor Knight, aka Kellum 2.0, and class change him into a general 3 times in a row. So if Engage doesn't feature reclassing, and characters who are Armor Knights or Peg Knights and the like are just permanently in those class lines, then I at least hope that we'll see some branch promotions, to add back in at least a little bit of variety when it comes to deciding on your character's ultimate paths. But if you'd like to know everything that we do know so far about Engage, check out my coverage on the latest news and info here, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.